Here goes nothing. Hola, chemo sabbies. See that car behind me, Mr. Dose? That means something in this video is happening with him, and it has to do with the wheels that I ordered for this car. Finally, over a year and change of waiting, staring at these ugly 2004 model year Enki 5 Plus, I think, plus 5? Something like that is the model of these wheels, but they're going away. But speaking of things going away, it's a disaster in here. Go, go, time lapse. I was cheerleader Sarah for you. Okay, cue time lapse. What are we wasting time for? It's the next morning, ta-da! My garage is so clean and you guys could care less. You just want to see me work on the car, but I just had to at least show you how excited I am because I put in some work cleaning my garage. Ta-da! Everything in here is nice and clean and organized now. No more mess over here. I now have a shelf for my Audi parts and then the MR2 parts and then a couple Subaru parts. And then this is all the leftover parts I have for the MR2 that I either need to sell off or just get rid of. I ordered another one of these cabinet things that I have up on the wall so that way I'll have more cabinet space to put stuff in there so it's less cluttered in here. But okay, enough about the garage. I just wanted to show you guys that I cleaned up my garage so it's nice and presentable now in here to do work. And speaking of doing work, there we go. Ta-da! Time for a quick lesson in SW20 fitment. Well, this is actually SW21 because it started out as a non-turbo car, but it's a turbo car now, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, when it comes to putting wheels and tires on the SW20, it's difficult finding wheels that will fit this car. Originally came with 14-inch wheels from the factory, and it has 17s on here now. However, the 17s that are on the car now are not the correct offset for the car. What I wanted to go with, and this is about the most ideal fitment you can get on this car without having to do stance life or anything crazy, is a 17x8 front, 17x9 rear, plus 35mm offset all the way around. All right, now I got this bad chicken off the car, I wanted to see what the specs are on these wheels because I wasn't quite sure. Now these are a 17x7 plus 40mm offset with a 215/40 17 tire on here. So it's not really that stretched because it's only a 7-inch wide wheel, but I'm going with a 17x8 in the front. Because I don't have coilovers on the MR2, a real area of concern is right here at the spring perch. Now with a 17x7, I have tons of clearance between the spring perch and the back of the tire, but I'm going to a 17x8. What I have here is a package full of new wheel studs. I got a set of brand new zinc plated wheel studs for the MR2 that are 5mm longer than the factory ones. Why? Because I'm gonna run a 5mm spacer in order to get the perfect fitment with my new wheels. Because I also ordered my wheels in a 17x8 plus 40, 17x9 plus 40, which will fit in theory without the spacer, but it will not be optimal fitment. I may end up rubbing on the spring perch as well in the front because it's a 17x8. So that is what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to attempt to get 20 studs off without damaging one. Before I change these wheel studs out, I want to do a test fit. This is the 5mm spacer, which would make this a 17x7 plus 35. Ooh. I'm gonna put the 5mm spacer on here, drop the car, and then in the rear, I'm going to add a 10mm spacer back there to see how that would look also. That right there is almost perfect. That would be a 17x7 plus 35. So I'm gonna have a 17x8 plus 35, which means there's gonna be a few more millimeters outward and a few more millimeters inward toward the spring perch. So, ooh, it's gonna be perfect. Up, up, down a little. As far as the rear goes, this being the equivalent of a 17x7 plus 30, there is still room for days back here. I mean, you can see there was not really any issue with clearance by the edge of the fender, and the spring perch is a mile away. So I'm not worried about the rear. I'm gonna run a 245 series tire back here. So, up, up, up. Ooh. Come on. Up. Up. Start with the rear. Time to get these studs off. I gotta really stop saying that. I really do. So if you see right here, there's this little notch in the rear dust shield. The purpose of that notch is so you can rotate your hub to align where the wheel stud goes. That way you have room to slip the new stud in through the back of it, because if you tried to do it up here, you wouldn't exactly have clearance to get the stud in there. This is why I like working on Toyotas. I swear their engineers are thinking about mechanics when they design these cars. So I got this old lug nut that I'm going to use on the car. This doesn't go to anything, but it's the right size for the MR2. So yeah, I'll just start with this one and hopefully these things pound out. Okay, here goes nothing. That's easy. One stud. There you go. One wheel done. Now you guys know me. I can't just leave this area looking like it is before I put the new studs back in there. I want to have like the dust shield cleaned up and the brake caliper painted and everything all nice looking in here. So I think what I'll do is I'll wait till tomorrow and I'll clean everything up, paint the brake calipers, make it look all pretty, and tonight I'll just focus on banging out all 20 of these studs. Three. Apparently it's a Peugeot. Which is the nice one out of the two? Is it Peugeot or Citroen? Citroen. Is it Peugeot better or Citroen better? This right here is actually pretty ingenious, the way they engineered this dust shield on the back. It's angled this way right here in the front, and I think the thought behind that is so it directs airflow at the brakes to aid in cooling. If that's what that's for. If so, that's really cool. peeps, it's the next day and it's time for me to get to work on these studs. So I got up first thing this morning and came out here and I cleaned up the hubs. I think they look way better now that they're nice and clean. So I'm not gonna do the wheel wells until I do the final detail, but because I'm gonna put the rotor back on, you won't be able to access this part of the hub. I figured I'd clean up the dust shields, and I used some apple cider vinegar to clean the hubs to get some of the rust off. So I think they look pretty good, especially for how old this car is. You know me, I have to make sure everything is clean before I put it back together. That's why it takes me forever to build my project cars. Anyway, it's time for me to put these studs in. So 2 different methods I can go about doing this. Now, if you have clearance to get a hammer back here, this is an option. However, I really would strongly advise against doing it because you run the risk of mushrooming the back side of the stud if you hit it incorrectly, or you can hit yourself in the face because that would suck. I'm gonna show you the right way to do this and the alternate right way to do this, which I'm not going to condone doing, but it works. But it's not the right way. So first is the 2-nut method, where you slide 2 nuts over the shaft of the stud. You get a nut that will fit on here. So in my case, it's an M12 by 1.50. Tighten it down and then make sure the splines on the back side of the stud are biting in there. Breaker bar, because I'm not strong. And slowly tighten the nut like so, which will draw the stud into the hub. The problem you run into though is the hub is gonna start to turn. And then just kind of tighten it down like so. And it doesn't really require a lot of force, it just kind of drives it in there nicely. And you can periodically check the backside to make sure it's going in. Damn it. I'm not trying to laugh while I'm doing this. There you go, that's on there. So that's the right way to do it if you don't have fancy tools. Wow, that's the alternate right way to do it. It's not the right way, it's the wrong way, but it works. But you run the risk of damaging threads if you do that, especially if you don't use a lug nut. Now when I did that, I used a lug nut, so there was a ton of threads inside the lug nut that were biting onto the stud. So that way there's more force being distributed throughout all those different threads, whereas if you use a regular nut, there's maybe 5 or 6 threads in there that come in contact with the stud. So I don't condone doing it. You do run the risk of damaging things, especially if you don't do it properly. It's not proper to begin with, but it works, and I at least want to put it in the video because I know someone's gonna mention, why don't you just use an impact? Such a delayed roll. So I have all the wheel studs on the car. I'm going to wrap up the video here because the next step is to paint the brake calipers and rotor hats. Now these rotors are, I believe they were just replaced before I bought the car, and it's got EBC green stuff brake pads. So I'm gonna get everything cleaned up and painted before the wheels go back on there, well, the new wheels. And I'll do that in another video because I got some more stuff I wanna do. So yeah. And for all of you guys that watched the live stream wondering what's going on with the TT, the final verdict is I'm going to continue working on the car until it is in running condition, like everything is fixed on it. I'm not just dumping the car. It's not just disappearing. That's not what's gonna happen with it. And I am going to start a new build on this channel. And if I find it before the TT is gone, so be it. I'll get it and just kind of hide it from you guys until the TT is gone. So I'm not giving up on the TT. I'm just, I'm going to focus on a different build that I think will be more exciting for you guys and to keep things fresh. So yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you soon with another. Bye.